So they get this magical rock that only the child can use, and the child ends up like giving birth hundreds of times. And like the way that the like wishing stone interpreted the wish was, I think the wish was something along the lines of like she didn't want to be alone, so it ended up like making her infinitely give birth, but there was no like structure to it, so all of the babies that came out, they had no like survival organs, so every baby would just die. So this child watched hundreds of her babies die.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boys, and we are back and better than ever. It is I, Beautiful Crow, and I'm here with my co-host Vic Seal, and we're here with the 26th episode of the DNAnime podcast. Is that the right number? 24 just went up. We got 1 to take. 25, yo, you better fix that in chat. But 25, everybody, 25. But yeah, we are back with the 25th episode of the DNAnime podcast, and we are geared up and ready to go to have fun. I'm getting the fact checkers on the line.
25.
25. I forgot
up
that
on
we
YouTube
missed
as of yesterday.
Yes, sir. The new episode is up on the podcast channel, the YouTube channel, as well as on the audio services of your choice. If you guys want to help the boys out, go to that new episode of the DNAnime podcast, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell, and be a part of the conversation and the community. We got a burgeoning community on the YouTube channel, which is actually pretty fucking cool because we got rated by one lovely community member saying that it's the best anime podcast on YouTube. And I believe it. Am I biased? Sure.
That's
but
a big
shut
flex.
up and follow the channel or whatever.
As long as it's true for one person, that's all that matters.
Exactly. Perception is reality. You know what I mean? But we are here and we are geared up to have a fun podcast today. And actually, I'm just going to start it. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. We just going in raw. Vix updated me today that he started reading one of my new favorite mangas of all time, DNAnime. So, okay. This is one thing that I do want to ask, right? What was the deciding factor for you to start outside of you dying in bed?
It was just like I don't really know what it was that just like pushed me over the edge. It's just I seen it on TikTok just one too many times. I was like, I just gotta know what the fuck is up with this dude's design, because the main character Ken, he's got like the weird circular glasses, and like I see him a bunch, and I'm like, even in his like nerdy state, he looks pretty cool. And then when he like transforms, man, he looks like such a fucking badass when he transforms.
Dude, I love it.
When he doesn't have the teeth and he has like just the lines over his eyes, that shit is like so fucking cool. Oh, I love it so much. He's got like this super big like collar and the cloak that comes out behind him. Oh, that's so fucking cool. I was like, somebody was drawing it. There's a guy on TikTok, I wish I remembered his name. He like draws the outline for the body and then does like a really silly face, and then he'll like white it out and then draw over the whiteout. And then he does like 3 other versions where he'll do like an overlapping red-blue drawing, and then he'll do it like through the 3D glasses so you can see like Ken in his human state when you're looking through the red lens, and then Turbo Granny in through the blue lens. And I can't fucking take anything seriously when they keep calling him Turbo Granny.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I thought that was a fake name because like I saw it before I started reading DNAnime, and I was like, "There's no way that the first ghost they meet is called Turbo Granny." I was waiting
for them to give me like another name. Like I knew that they were gonna call her Turbo Granny when she was like a fast old lady. I was like, that makes sense, but like usually there's like the official name and then what the locals call her. The locals call her Turbo Granny.
Yep, her name is just Turbo Granny.
And she wants to suck your wang.
Dude, okay. I again, you guys got to experience this live with me in a Discord. My first reactions to DNAnime, and I want to do more of that. Maybe I just need to start picking up more anime and just giving my first opinions on it. But I started reading DNAnime, and in like the first 5 pages, you get photorealistic Obama face. I don't even remember why they were talking about Obama. But you get the realistic Obama face. You get Turbo Granny talking about, let me eat your dick and I'll let you suck my titty. You know, you find out that aliens and ghosts are real. It's just like,
those
oh my god,
fucking
the banana
aliens,
organs.
the aliens were super creepy.
I don't like how they look. They're so unsettling.
Dude, I hate it, but I love it. Like the fact that I hate it means that I love it, because like that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be like uncomfortable, and everything makes you feel uncomfortable until
There's
it's not
so
supposed
much.
to. And then you're like, "Oh, that's cool." You're like, "That's fine. Like I can deal with that." And then they become very unsettling and you're like, "Oh no."
Dude, that's what I love about DNAnime, because it's like you look at it, you look at Ken, you look at Momo, and you're just like, oh, they're just anime characters. And they got some style, they got some flavor. I love the fact that I don't even know what
I
happened.
like
Was
that
it Turbo
Momo
Granny?
is like still like kind of the most powerful one. Like Ken is like the strong one because he's got Turbo Granny's powers, but like he is strong just because he has strong powers. Momo gets fucking crazy on her own volition. Like her own like capabilities, she ends up like scaling it really high, which is absolutely like I love it. I love that they didn't just like leave her in the dust. I was afraid that she was just gonna be like a battery to Ken for a while.
Yeah.
And she just they resolved that issue very early, and then she was like able to kind of do her own thing, and I was like, oh, thank God. That's amazing.
Okay. So, okay, we've talked a lot about the insanity of DNAnime, right? Because DNAnime is fucking crazy, and it only scales up, right? But what I really want, really like, what really stuck with me in the manga is that fact. It's a shonen manga, right? And you got a female lead and a male lead. But Momo is her own character. And I love her. She's powerful in her own right. She has her own goals. She has her own shit, her own history. She has her own shit, right? And she's great. Ken, who's the other main character, aka Okarun, he's the other main character. He has his own shit and everything like that. And then you start to see them like grow as friends, because at the beginning of the manga, they're not friends at all.
Yeah,
they literally don't know each other.
It was the simplest. It was the simplest act of kindness that made Okarun like step out of his comfort zone. Was he was being bullied, and she like stepped in the way. She didn't even do much. She literally just got in the way and was like, that's it, and then just got up and left.
Yep.
And then he like worked up the courage, because he was like, I don't want to be alone forever. So he was like, this was my chance, and I took it.
Yep. And he unapologetically being himself. So again, it was
and then
one
he
of the funny
apologized
things.
for like 7 chapters straight.
Well, yeah. But the great thing about the characters that I love so much, because it was something that you asked me, you were like, can you give me a better synopsis of DNAnime than the Shonen Jump app? And it's really fucking hard to sell people on DNAnime without really getting into the spoilers. But even when getting the spoilers is so fucking insane. Like literally the whole premise is that Momo, at the beginning of the manga, she's broken up, or she falls out of a relationship with her boyfriend at the time, because her whole gimmick is that she loves the actor Ken Kuwasari or something like that. He's like some Japanese actor, like a real guy,
like Takakura or something, and then
something like that.
And then Okarun's she calls him Okarun because his real name is that guy's name. So she's like, you can't say that anymore.
I love that whole gimmick where anytime anybody says the actor's name, she like gets all weird and goofy.
She like loses control of her powers and whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying, but
so
they don't like abuse it, so it's like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's a gimmick for like the first like couple of chapters. It's not too crazy, but yeah, like they meet, they have this camaraderie, and their whole gimmick is that Okarun believes in aliens, the paranormal, the super, or really well, I guess you wouldn't call it paranormal, because he believes in aliens and cryptids.
So the extraterrestrial.
Yes.
And
Momo believes in the spiritual and ghost. And they find that out early on in the manga. And that's the whole gimmick. That's the Shonen Jump plot synopsis.
They just rip a gimmick, like every couple of chapters, they just fucking take something from somewhere else, and they're like, hey man, that was cool. Let's just do it. Did you see the one dude try to do the Kamehameha?
Yes.
I was like, is he actually? And then he's like, no, I need a different name. I gotta reach deeper. And I was like, okay, okay.
Dude, that would have been so sick, because they do the whole anime thing where they're just like, a move gets more powerful if you say it. You know, you gotta have a name for it. And so he literally, his whole thing is emitting spiritual energy. So he just starts going, he's like, calm, man. He's like, no, I need my own name.
I need this to come from my spirit.
Yeah, it is evil blast. I forget what
Evil
it is. Some shit like that. Evil gun.
Pretty straightforward, but the name makes sense.
Okay.
I was like, all right, cool.
The thing that I love about Don and what speaks to me is that it's like stupid mixed with like amazing character depth.
I think the thing that I was trying to put my finger on, like, why I was able to just like read it 120 chapters in like a day. It feels like you're reading manga for the first time again. You feel like a kid again. Like it's so like you don't have any idea what could go next. Because it just happens. There's no build up for it, and they structured the world so that it just happening makes sense. So
Dude,
you're just like, you're just like hanging out.
Black.
You're just hanging out there, and suddenly, like, you're literally in the middle of a fucking alien invasion. Like one panel later, you're like, huh?
Dude, it's so hectic. It's so fast paced. The most insane, like, we're underselling how insane it gets.
It's so
like,
awesome.
Shit just happens and it's so fucking fun. But then in Intersplice, and this is one of the things I was talking about, Vic, so I was like giving updates when I was like reading it as I was going through it. Not trying to spoil anything, but I was like just giving the little updates. And I was like, there's a character backstory moment that hit me so hard that I started getting choked up and I had to stop reading for a bit.
There was one pretty early on that I was almost sure was it. Because if you hang out in Crow's stream a lot, you've heard his backstory, and the one early on with Acrobatic Silky, I was like, okay, I see where that could get him. I was like, that was a good one. It was pretty short.
That was a good one.
I was like, that's pretty short, but it was a good one. And I was like, I could see it. I could see him like tearing up a little bit and then moving on. And then he was like, no, that's not it. And I was like, I was just going by. I sent the message and I was like, it was this one, wasn't it? And I kept going, and I was like 60 chapters later. He's like, nah, it happens later. I'm like, later? I'm 60 chapters after. Where later?
and then
I got to the point and I was like, it was you, wasn't it?
Because like the Acrobatic Silky one was really fucking good, and that one caught me by surprise because I assumed that it was slightly different, but then how they tied it into the character and the spirit, I was just like, oh my god, like this is really fucking good. And it's those moments where the characters resonate with these ethereal monsters, and you have those really, really somber moments where you get those characters past. It's kind of like akin to kind of like Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Like Tanjiro's like empathizing with the character. You try to like see them when they were human or what they went through. They have those moments in Dandadan, and they hit
I like
so
how they do
fucking
it
hard.
In Dandadan better. Because like in Demon Slayer, it's just like you get the backstory after they're dead, and you're like, why? I don't know why we got this band. I don't know how we got this backstory. Like, cool, we got it. I don't know how everybody understands this, or if that's just for us. But they gave it like an access point in the story, so you can only get it when Momo uses her powers in a specific way. So only certain ones will get their backstory, and those are the only important ones, and they're so good. They're so good.
Every single one from Turbo Granny was a good one. It wasn't as hard hitting, but it was like, okay, we get a little bit more information with Turbo Granny.
Turbo Granny's was more like, it was like all kind of fucked up.
It was fucked up. It's fucked up. It's not like, oh, it's tugging on my heartstrings. It's just like, damn.
You're
but then
like,
it makes you kind of like,
that's been going on for 200 something years. Damn.
Yeah. But then it sets the foundation when you're meeting the other bosses, I guess. So Acrobatic Silky was really fucking good. Evil Eyes was really good.
Evil Eyes still hasn't like resolved, I guess, for me. Like he's getting there. The deal that he made is like the deal is funny, but it's dumb at the same time.
It's funny and dumb.
So it's extra funny because how like stupid OP that you like know he is, because he basically like signs a non-aggression treaty with the main character, and he's like, okay, I'll only fight you on one day, and then he's like, it's gonna be Tuesday, and I was like, Tuesday? What fucking Tuesday?
Okay, so again, my minor spoiler for Don to Don. I love how Okarum pitches this to him, because he's like, I can't transform anymore. I'm tired. He's just like, I'll fight you on Tuesdays.
Fucking gaslit the shit out of him too. He literally
dude,
was
I love
like,
it.
he was like, if he decides to walk at me and breathe on me, I'll die. And he's like, you're so weak. I'm not even gonna bother fighting you anymore. And he's like, you what?
And he has the groundwork in the last ass movie, but Okaru would have fucking exploded if he did anything. And it was so great. He was just like, play with me on Tuesdays. He's like, yep. He's like, don't do it now.
And now
I'll
he
beat your
keeps getting
ass.
in trouble, and he's like, "No, I'm good." And they're like, "You're gonna die if you don't fight." And he's like, "Nah, no, I said I wasn't gonna." And then he just like gets fucking pummeled, and he doesn't even like
Obliterated.
feel it.
Nope. He just like, it's not Tuesday. I only want to fight Okaru. And I was just like, dude, I love it.
The like Sukuna body swap mechanic is so fucking stupid. I hate it.
It's like, hey, if you it's literally, what is it? The fucking Ranma half.
It's
They
room
Ranma half
room temperature or colder. He turns into Evil Eye.
To Satan.
Yeah, and if it's hot water or hot liquid, then he turns back to normal.
Yeah, so you just gotta throw fucking
And
like
it's
hot
like,
boiling water
it's
in
not
his
even a
face.
slow transition either. It is instant.
Oh, it's
Like
immediate.
they dropped soy sauce on his hand, and he immediately flipped the dinner table.
He's gonna kill them all. Oh my god. I love Psycho. So Psycho is Momo's grandmother, who doesn't look like her grandmother at all. She looks like a fucking older sister or some
Why
shit.
is she's so against saying anything is an alien? She fucking sent
like,
a
no,
cow up into a
that's
UFO, and she's like, "So you know aliens are real?" And she's like, "Nah, that's a Kappa." And you're like, "What the? It's a literal flying saucer. What do you
It's
mean?"
a UFO. It's a UFO. She's like, aliens don't exist. And I'm just like, what
And
the
then
fuck?
they got like they brought in the fucking mantis shrimp guy, and they're like, "No,
Yeah.
that's a Kappa."
Yeah.
And then every time Momo is like, "Okarun, help me out," and he's like, "No, they say aliens are closely related to spirits."
Oh my, I love the characters so much. They're so goddamn dumb. I love them. I love them.
But like,
I love them.
everybody is dumb, but nobody is stupid.
Exactly.
I think that's the key point. Is like everybody
Yes.
does really dumb stuff, but nobody has done anything stupid yet.
Where they would jeopardize anybody or jeopardize anything.
Well,
They-
I mean,
okay,
Gigi kind of
sometimes-
did that
sometimes.
with the Evil Eye, but
Well,
that's the hero spirit
yeah.
kind of thing. We're all right with that.
Yeah. But okay, and there's another thing. So this is early on, and I won't go into specifics, but one of my favorite things about like Don Da Don is that it does kind of like break away from normal anime tropes. Right. Because when I was first reading Don Da Don, I was just like, okay, well, obviously they're setting up the relationship between Ken and Momo, right? Like he's named after her, you know, her, I guess, celebrity crush. And so you're just like, oh, you know, whatever. And, you know, you get to see their relationship build over time. And I was worried from time to time because I was like, oh, they're adding in other characters. Like, they gonna fucking do love triangles and love squares and all this shit like that. I was like,
when they brought Momo's like ex-boyfriend in,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
I was so pissed, dude. I was like, he's
And then like Okarun was like started immediately being like jealous, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then it just changed
yep.
like really fast.
Yep.
And that's like the whole thing with Don Da Don is like they set you on a path, and then they're like, just kidding.
Okay, you want to know something? I just thought it literally just clicked in my head. You know what Turbo Granny's power is, right? She has the ability
able to
run.
go exactly 100 kilometers per hour, no matter what.
Yes, that's her own power, which isn't that impressive.
And then she
goes
got really
fast like a
mad
car.
when Okarun was like, "That's not fast enough to run through electricity," and she's like, "Well, I can fucking do it."
Hey, ghost powers, man. But the thing that I like about Don Da Don, right, is that I feel like Turbo Granny's power is not just a power set for one of the main characters. It also tells you about the breakneck speed that Don Da Don is on. It goes from 0 to fucking 100 in the first chapter. They try to rip off the main character's dick multiple times during the episode or the first chapter, right?
The number of times that they've stolen that man's balls.
Oh, dude,
The fact
that
that,
shit
it's
pissed me
higher
off.
the fact that it's higher than 2 is already crazy.
Oh, you ain't even at the end yet. But yeah, his dick and balls, his family jewels is our big point. That GIF you posted in Discord was perfect. but like Don Da Don is like it's just
Was
go.
it pure meat? Wang.
Wait. But the thing is, it's like it's
all of it in
go.
context is confusing. That's the best part.
Yeah, Dan is insane, dude.
You feel confused the whole time, but you also feel like you get it the whole time.
It's like the manga does this crazy thing to bring you into his insanity.
It is somehow like showing you every aspect of everything all at the same time, and it feels like it's slowly walking you through it. Like you never hit a point where you're like, how the fuck did you get there? But like you're always like, how did I get here?
Yep. And that's Turbo Granted Power. 0 to 100. And that's Dan. That's the best way I can explain Dan. If you want a really good manga, I would highly recommend reading it. It is fantastic. One of my major things I really enjoyed about Dan, again, breaking kind of like anime conventions and tropes, there was a misunderstanding when Okarun fell over on another one of the characters, the main girl, another one of the main cast or whatever.
She was trying real hard not to let that one slide too. She was like, I'm not talking to you. And they were in a situation where he's like, if you actually care, you will let me explain. And she's just like, I see.
Exactly.
And then later he does. Like she lets him actually explain what happened.
I love that so much. They talk to each other, not like anime fucking tropes, but like people. Yes, you'll have the drama of the will they, won't they, and oh, look at this, all these other people you brought in exes and other girls and all stuff like that. But they care for each other, and they show that they care in an innumerable amount of ways in the manga. And it's just like, oh, I love these characters so fucking much. Like, it's no bullshit. Like they have misunderstandings. They have fights. They argue, but they care for each other, and they look out for each other, not just in combat. Not just when the world's exploring, but, when they're feeling down. And there's, like, so many good moments. It
feels kind of funny that every time they meet, like, a not purely evil person, they end up in the house.
Oh, dude. One of my favorite gimmicks.
The fucking anatomical body thing.
That was like, so
what
good.
The fuck is that? the
was
science
so good,
classroom like human model like ends up being a fucking cursed shell.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
I was like, wait, what? And they went after him because they thought he had a golden nutsack.
See, it was like he jumped over them. Momo was like, I saw something twinkling in his ball sack.
Yeah, they jumped over Momo, and like because he's the science room anatomical body. There's like he's got no clothes on. He's like half muscle and then like half skin. And when he does like the fucking swan like stride over the main character, she's like, he's got a golden ball.
It's your ball, dude. And then
however,
their whole
that
story,
sounds weird as fuck, but that is a very important thing. So
it's a very important
they were looking for that.
Dude,
I did not expect him to come back and be like immediately useful. Like when he came back, like his request to like stop being weird was weird.
Yeah.
To like grab the other science body and just house it in the spirit medium's house. I was like, where did this one come from?
Dude, again, that's Dan. Shit just happens.
You're going so fast, like you hit a point where you're just like, well, that happened. That was a thing that just happened. Now we're doing something else.
Your brain cannot keep up. And again, we're talking about a lot of stuff. There's so much in Dan. It's so good.
Almost everything that we have mentioned has been in order. Almost everything.
Almost, yeah.
So if it sounds like it's all over the place, yes.
That's all. Yeah, dude. Dan's so good. So again, the manga's fantastic.
There's one thing that I saw and I was like, ooh, I don't know if he's gonna notice because it was one panel. Did you see Mantis Shrimp Dempsey roll?
Yes.
I was like, did this motherfucker just Dempsey roll?
You know how fucking hype. You know that had to be a fucking Ippo reference.
I know it had to be, but I was like, ooh, it was one panel. I don't know if he saw it. I don't know if he paid that much attention.
I can't fucking wait. You don't know how fucking hype I'm gonna get when they animate that shit in whenever the fuck. But yes,
that was crazy.
Don to Don's so fucking sick, dude. It's so sick. It's so good. Read the manga. The anime is coming out the beginning of October. It's in theaters right now. If you have a local theater, you can go watch, I believe, the first 3 episodes. I think like an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
You can watch like the first 3 episodes. I'm sure that's probably going to take care of like the whole Turbo Granny arc. But yeah, Don to Don in theaters now. We're not getting paid.
But now
pay us.
I'm so far into it now that I already know that I've passed season 1. Like,
100%.
And like the character that I want to see isn't going to be like until season 3, and I'm like, are we even going to get a season 3? Because they stop at season 2 all the time.
Dude, Don to Don looks amazing. The studio is the studio. We talked about it, I think,
They
last
better keep that
podcast.
shit going.
Yeah, it's the anime studio that did the animation for Devilman Crybaby. I think that's the perfect studio because Devilman Crybaby also has that weird,
It does have
ass
those weird like
aesthetic.
stretchy bones.
Yeah, that's what Okrun has when he transforms, though.
Yeah,
He's all
like
lanky and shit.
like when he moves really fast, his like appendages don't go. They don't stay straight.
Yeah,
it's very strange, but it feels like correct at the same time. I won't say it feels natural because it's like very obviously not, but it feels like that's how it's supposed to be, and that's how I am for a lot of things. Like it can be as weird as you want it to be, as long as it fits an image that you made us believe that it is supposed to be. So in this case, like he's moving so fast that his like foot just isn't going as fast as the upper part of his leg. And that just makes sense to me. Like I can piece that together. They structured it to be so. They showed us that right from the beginning. And that's how it was set up. They didn't ever break that where it was like sometimes it happens. So he always is that fast.
dude.
Everything felt very intentional. And I'm very drawn to that when things aren't just like dropped into place. Especially like if they manage to drop it into place and it like fits, then so be it. But if it's like really obvious that they're just like, oh, I didn't come up with something for this panel, let me just throw something in there. I'm like, I can tell. I don't want I didn't hit that with Don to Don. I didn't hit any panel in Don to Don where I was like, oh, they just threw something together. But what they did to everybody, I guess, the fuck are their names? Seropians.
Oh yeah, the alien Seropians.
The creepy ass alien dudes. What they did to Mantis Man. Mean.
I mean, oh my god.
They kept cutting his pay.
I love Mantis Man. Yeah, he's just like, I need money. He's like, I gotta work my day job. He just goes around punching the shit out of them.
And then you find out his blood is milk, and you're like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's so random. It's so random. They give this man milk, and he's like, this tastes like our blood. And I'm just like, what?
Dude, because when he like came back, and they're like, oh, he's dripping a bunch of white stuff. I was like, oh, gross. But then later you find out it was just milk, and you're like, oh my god, you did that on purpose, you bastard.
Like the whole manga has been about dick and balls and banana organs and sucking titties. I'm just like, what? And then it's like, yeah, alien blood is milk. Just that's why they take cows. Dude, I love Don to Don, man. I love Don to Don. I can't wait for you to get caught up so you can live in this hell with me, this purgatory, or you gotta wait 7 days for a new chapter to come out.
I don't want to be stuck there.
I mean, it's rough. Literally, you started it, and then I saw the new chapter came out, and I read it, and I got through the many pages.
I saw it when I started it last night. I saw a new chapter in 11 hours, and I was like, I'm going to be reading that tomorrow.
Damn it. But yeah, so outside of Don to Don, I'm slowly but surely getting caught up on Undead Unluck. I'm pretty far in it. But I was just like, I was dealing with so much shit at work. I was just like, I don't want to focus because Undead Unluck is very deep, or it's got a lot going on. And I was like, I just want to read it and focus on it. So I ended up doing something else. But yeah, that's our review for Don to Don, the brand spanking new anime that's coming out. The trailers, from what I've seen, the animation looks fucking amazing. So I am very excited for the anime because then I get to relive it again with all of you guys. Hopefully, if push comes to shove, or if everything goes according to Keikaku, maybe we'll do like some watch alongs in the Discord or something like that, and then be able to watch it with everybody so that everybody can freak out at all the shit. If Don to Don doesn't have photorealistic Obama in the first episode, then they drop the ball on this anime.
The first, like,
I still don't remember why he was in it. Dude, I legit was reading it. I was just like, every time I turned the page, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
There was another guy that they were talking about. I think it was the actor dude who looked like somewhat similar to Obama, and I was like, is that who he's talking about? I went like 3 pages, and they kept showing him, and I was like, I mean, he's like somewhat similar. I wouldn't call that photorealistic. And then I turned the page, and bam, Obama, and they called him by name too. I was like, oh, okay, Obama.
Yeah, they were just straight up like, hey, Obama, something, something. I don't remember the context, but yeah, Don to Don is fucking wild. But then there's so many good moments where I'm just like, oh, I'm sad now, or oh my god, this character is my favorite character, or oh, this is sad. Like a lot of the backstory stuff is really good. I love the fact that after every like I guess fight or big thing in the series, they always do like here's all the new main characters, let's all eat at Psycho's house, and they all eat together.
And it's always like this ruffians barrage or some shit.
Yeah, they always like fighting for food and be like, just arguing and shit and yelling, and it's just like, it's so much fun, dude.
Only
so much
one
fun.
person addressed the talking cat though, and it was the dude who pilots the robot. He's the only guy to be like, the cat talks.
Yeah, well, there's another character that does it as well, but you'll get there. But yeah, I mean, he's more so on the outs of all the insane shit that all the characters are dealing with. Yeah. Dude, when you start mentioning,
it's so funny that he's there because he's so doesn't belong, but it's so funny that he keeps pulling out wins, and you're like, damn it, stop.
Dude, it's so good that he comes in, and because when you said like, there's a fucking kaiju here, and I was just like, yeah, he's there.
I was like, dude, I was not ready for. I knew they were going to do something crazy when they were like, yeah, you can mold the house however you want with this nano skin. And then there was a like Godzilla, and I was like, oh, okay. But Godzilla doesn't start out that big. And then when he got super big, and then they were just like, oh, by the way, Godzilla is fighting Buddha. And I was like, huh?
That panel was what made me start reading Don to Don. I saw that out of context on Twitter.
You're like, how the hell does Godzilla fight Buddha?
I was like, how the art is so fucking good in Don to Don. So when I saw that, I was like, that looks fucking sick. I need to know how they get there. And then you read the first couple chapters, I was like, I have no clue how they go get there. I still don't know how
I got here, but I'm here. I'm with it this time.
I'm in.
And then fucking dude turned the Torii gate into Akira's motorcycle and did the Akira slide.
Oh my god, he did the fucking I
was like, dude.
Don to Don sick. Go read and watch Don to Don. Whew, amazing. But yeah, we're gonna go on over to the topic for today's podcast. I can talk about Don to Don forever because there's so much shit. But I want you guys to experience Don to Don either by reading it or watching anime. Is coming out soon. We will continue talking about it as the podcast episodes continue and the anime episodes start to come out. But for the first topic of today, because I thought I literally saw this as I was scrolling through TikTok, and I was like, this would be something fun to talk about. So the first topic, or not the first topic, but the topic of today is, if you can take one canon event out of an anime and just remove it, what would it be? And I sat down. The first thing that came to mind, I'll go first because I already told you mine. My first one.
I think there was one on here that I want to see if I'm going to get it right. I was like, there's one on here that I know he's going to bring up. And I was like, oh, I know what it is. Okay. What is it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I sent it to you. You know, my first one, and we'll see if you can guess my other two.
Not that one. There was another one I was thinking of. I specifically didn't use the one you sent me because I was like, everybody wants that.
I know, because that was the first thing that came to mind, dude. Okay, these might be like mild spoilers for anime. The first one I'm talking about is in Naruto, but I mean Naruto's been done for like fucking forever, right? The first thing that I would take out is I would 100% take out aliens in Naruto. And again, this isn't like a hot take. Oh my god, I'm beating across the grain. I'm going against everybody's perceived perspective, but no, I would 1,000% take out the aliens in Naruto. Madara was built up from so early on in Naruto, and it's just like you're expecting Madara to be the big bad. You having this whole fourth great ninja war. Everybody not just in the show, in the world is fighting this man, and he's the big bad. He's the ultimate threat. and he's fucking sick. I love Madara. Madara is an amazing villain. I thought he got such a cool fucking voice in English and in Japanese. And then he just overshadowed. After the fight with Guy, after the fight with Naruto, after the fight with all the ninjas, him boxing up thousands of people, perfect, ultimate Sasano, all the shit happening. And then fucking, what's her damn name? I'm about to call it Jiraiya. Yeah, Kaguya just comes out of nowhere. She's just like, and I'm here. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah, man, ninjas all spawn from aliens. Moon people from the moon. That's where chakra is from. Yeah, you guys thought this was all fucking ninja
it was
shit?
like a little bit different than chakra, but it was like sort of chakra that mutated from a tree.
Chakra. Yeah,
the divine tree that
chakra.
got molded by Hagurama.
The old shit that you thought was cool, that's a subset bullshit version. Diluted, watered down version of this alien mumbo jumbo that we just pulled out in the fucking
last
inning.
10 seconds of the show. We're going to pull out Senjutsu, this new thing.
That shit pissed me off.
I hate it when
so much.
I hate it when shows bring up an entirely new concept to like continue a like plot device. Like in this case, it's, you know, the Senjutsu Okototsuki or whatever, them just existing. I guess they were trying to build like a bridge onto Boruto, which
yeah,
I mean,
don't get me wrong, apart.
Boruto the manga is fantastic. I love reading Boruto the manga. The two blue vortex, fire. Don't watch the anime. It's literally 150 episodes of filler, and there's like 170 episodes. Don't watch it. You're literally wasting your time.
I don't know how they got away with that shit.
There's other ones out there that are like, there's like a no-win situation, and then the character is just like, I have a new ability, and then that is the answer to the issue. I don't like that. I want them to come up with the idea ahead of time. Like Todoroki versus Dabi, he came up with phosphor over time. Like he came up with that. He didn't just like spawn it. However, Dabi did then just spawn it. So,
yeah, Dabi just was like, I can do it. I was like, this makes no fucking sense, dude.
I was like, yeah, it still doesn't make any sense that he was able to do it because he was circulating heat and his ability, or he was circulating cold, and his ability doesn't have cold, so I don't get it. But I mean, that Horikoshi, you know.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm wrapping this shit the fuck up. I'm done.
I'm done here. I'm finishing like, before One Piece does. I swear.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just wrap this shit up. They playing wrap up music and everything. He's like, wrap the shit up. He was like, I'm done. I'm finishing everything. But that like. And I'll talk about it because resident anime specialist Nova, he came in and he said, no aliens, no Sage, a six path, no ninja series. But I'm not saying if you take out the aliens, because they weren't a thing until like the end of the series. You keep everything else and you just never involve them in the story. They weren't a thing. The Sages and six paths were just legendary ninjas before then. They kind of just retconned it right at the end. It just was like, oh no, they're
I didn't mind the idea of the Sages of the Six Paths. The problem was how it was like, surprise, new ability. And first of all, in what fucking universe does it make sense for Naruto to be able to heal? It didn't make any sense. Where did that even come from?
Him,
and then he never does. He like never does it again.
He lost the power. He no longer got the little black ball things or whatever, all Sage power.
Actually, I have heard that the black balls do still exist. He chooses not to use them. When he was fighting Sasuke and he used them to block Indra's arrows, they sank to the bottom of the valley and he left them there so that nobody could use them. So they still exist in the universe. They're just
chilling at the bottom of the ocean.
They're just chilling in the river. They're just chilling down there.
I'm fine with the Sage power. The Sages should have just been the originators of ninjutsu or whatever, right? They could have just been legendary powerful ninjas and still been fine. You didn't need the fucking space people. Like, I don't think that you needed the space people because I feel like the Kaguya stuff undercuts Madara as a villain completely. Nobody beats him. Like nobody beats him. He just gets fucking one shot. And he's just like, I'm really the bad guy. And I'm just like, who the fuck are you? I'm Moon Lady. And then Naruto and all them just beat her. And I'm just like, I don't know.
They were like, okay, we gotta put Sakura in here somehow.
Yeah,
she tried to be
dude,
a shield against Madara and it didn't work, so we gotta bring her back. Bring it back. Run it again.
I love Sakura. Kishimoto's writing failed her as a character, right? That's one of the reasons why I praise Don because Momo is fucking sick. Whereas most shonens, the female leads are sidelines, right? Oh yeah, nobody's more sidelined than 1010. 1010's not even a fucking character, dude. Like she's an NPC, dude. She's an NPC that just got a bunch of lines for some reason.
Like she actually gets a shop. She is an actual NPC.
I love Sakura. The only black mark on Sakura's, career is the confession of Naruto, but not for the reasons that a lot of people on anime TikTok and anime Twitter complain about. Because I think that moment makes sense in the context that she felt like she had cursed Naruto to keep tracking down Sasuke for her. But I just feel like as a character and Naruto's like best fucking friend, she should have known better. But I understand that she was just trying to do whatever she could to stop him from killing himself. So I get it. But I still would say, like, come on, Sakura, you should have known better, but whatever. But no, like, I like Sakura as a character. But I will say the funniest fucking moment is when she jumps up to Naruto and Sasuke and she's like, I won't be left behind. I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. You haven't even punched one person. Her whole ability is I can punch hard and heal people. She heals a lot, but she always misses every fucking punch. And that's shit that pissed me off about. Anyway, this isn't even the fucking
if she lands the punch, the fight's over. So.
I know, but fucking let her beat somebody. Like, she had her fucking moment in the first arc fighting Sasori. And I'm just like, that was fucking
she landed
sick.
a lot of punches there.
That
she
was
landed
sick,
enough in
though.
that one fight for the entire season or series.
Yeah, that was it. That was her. That shit carried her all the way to the end.
I hate that nobody gives her credit for that fight because they're like, oh, Granny Chio like guided her through that, and I was like, yes, that's how you co-op. That's how you fight together. That's what you do. And they're like, as experienced ninja, both of them identified what their weaknesses were, what their strengths were. Chio knew the guy that they were fighting. She knew who that was, and she's like, I can stop you from getting hit. And she's like, you just have to trust me, and Sakura did. And because of that, they won. But people are like, Chio did all the work. I don't know. Sakura did kind of create an antidote for an uncurable poison and then use it 3 times in that fight. So
dude, I love Sakura. It's just Kishimoto just don't write women well. Like, it's a part of the shonen philosophy.
In his defense, I feel like people like really had it out for Sakura. Like,
no, 100%.
She had some moments. Like, she definitely wasn't the best written character, but she had moments. And every time that there was a moment, everybody shit on her for it. And I was like, I don't know what you want from her. They put her in a fight with the Akatsuki. She was clearly out of her league. Like, she had like no mission experience because she just trained under Tsunade, and then she was just up against the elite. Of course she's gonna need help. Everybody else got help, so why can't she get help? And then like nobody liked that. Nobody wanted to see her fight. So then they're like, okay, medical ninja. She heals everything. She puts Naruto's skin back. And they're like, she's fucking useless. All she does is sit in the back, and she's supposed to hit stuff. Where do you want her to go?
But yeah, I think Sakura's fucking sick. But yeah, I would just take out the alien shit. I mean, that was the default answer. It's literally where I got the idea for this topic. I just think the alien shit added nothing. And if that means no Boruto, I mean, no, I'm just gonna say. I don't think
any of us would be hurting too bad if Boruto decided that they didn't want to go with it. If they started looking at the anime storyboards and they were like, nah, skip out on the aliens, then I don't think any of us would be hurting too much.
The Shonen Jump, the Shonen Jump offices be like, aliens? Oh, I won't write Boruto. They're like, you know what? Yeah, you got us. No Boruto. But no, like I just didn't care for that shit at all. And I started reading Boruto because everybody was like, the anime's garbage. I was watching anime. I really enjoyed the only part of the anime I really enjoyed was the fucking time travel shit. Where he went back in time and saw all the characters that I like.
We got to see Jiraiya again. That was for us.
Yeah.
That wasn't even like important. That was for us.
Exactly. But other than that, the anime fucking sucks ass. And then the manga is good. I like it. I got caught up on code and all that bullshit with them. And I was like, this is, it's actually pretty good. It's interesting stuff. But I mean, I just don't really care about all of that Okusuki shit. I mean, there's some cool ass moments in Boruto.
At least
when
have
Naruto
an easier
stops...
to pronounce name. Damn.
True. I was like, I thought Byakugan was hard. No, I was joking. But yeah, that's the uncanon moment. That's the uncanon moment for me. What's your first moment that you would uncanonize?
So when you first presented me the list, I couldn't really think of anything. I had a lot of things that came up in my mind that I would change or I would shift. But every time I tried to take something out, I was like, oh, it would ruin the rest of it. And so at first I was starting to struggle, and I put a joke one down to maybe get the ball rolling, and I just put jobless reincarnation. Rudy never gets ED. And I was like, how he would do that? He just never sleeps with his cousin. And then I was like, that's a good point. And then I was like, but then he doesn't go to the school, and then he doesn't meet Sylphie, and then he doesn't meet Nanahoshi, and then he doesn't meet anybody else, and that's a bad thing. Don't sleep with your cousin. That sucks. So I was like, oh, I better not do that one. There was another one I put on here that was a joke one. Promised Neverland Season 2, the whole thing. Try again.
God damn. Try again. It kind of sucks because in normal situations, so I love Promised Neverland. The first season, amazing.
Dude, the first season had me sold. I was so into it in the first season. And then the second season was I felt like I was a little lost, but I was like, sometimes I just end up there because I don't pay that much attention. So I was like, I feel like I'm in that spot where I just wasn't paying attention. And then they got to the end of the season, and I was like, I really feel like I missed something really major. And then they started doing the end of the season slideshow, and they showed a dragon on reflective lakes, and I was like, I know that I didn't miss anything related to that. That's just a new thing. And I was like, oh, that means that there's probably season 3, right? And then I went to go look online, and everybody was like, they butchered it. Good luck figuring out what that dragon is. And I was like, what the fuck? Damn.
I don't even remember a dragon.
Because at the very end, they do just literal panels. They do stills of them going through the next world. And they only show you one picture of each major event in the rest of the series at the end of the last episode of the season. And one of them is just it's Emma in what is a crystal lake and some kind of dragon. And it is a still image, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
They knew that shit was done.
And
they were like,
that's it.
this shit is not getting a second
panel,
season.
and you never find out.
Great.
I was like, that sucks. And then I was like, maybe I'll go read the manga. And then I started reading the manga, and I was like, man, this art is kind of rough. I don't know about this one.
That's the crazy thing, because it's I was like, okay, they butchered the anime season. Season 2 is fucking trash. This sucks. There's some good bits, and I enjoyed it. I was watching with Val because we both got into it together, my girlfriend. And we both loved the first season. So we started watching the second season. We were watching it. We were just like, oh, this don't feel right. And so we finished it. I don't even think she finished it. I think I just kept on watching it without her. And I was just like, and then I heard oh yeah, they skip a bunch of plot, all the forest shit, they skipped everything like that. And I was like, you can kind of feel it because they're going on this whole journey, and then it's kind of gloss over, yeah, it's been whatever many days, and now we're here. And I was like, oh, well, what? And then I was like, well, at least, maybe I can go back and read the manga. So I bought a bunch of the manga from Barnes and Nobles, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start reading it. And then everybody told me, yeah, the manga turns to shit too. And I was like, what? I was like, so this amazing anime that I love so much, there's no good version of it. And they're like, yeah. And I was just like,
yeah, that's
fuck.
Dude, I've been trying to find the manga for Danmachi for so long. I was on the subreddit, and they were talking about it, and they're like, yeah, no, the manga, they just stopped at book 2. And I was like, huh? But I'm like, but they're still going with the anime. I'm like, so is it anime only? And I'm like, no, it's following the light novel source. And then I would go look, and I'd see volume 26, and I'm like, what?
Jesus.
I was like, I thought you said it was done. And they're like, no, so Danmachi got stopped, put in limbo in volume 2 or 3 or something. And then somebody, I don't know who, started it back up with Danmachi 2 that started up at like volume 21 or something. And then somebody else is writing Sword Oratoria, which is Aiza's point of view, and that has not gone into limbo, but has gone past the animation or the anime part.
Side anime.
So like nothing is lining up. Like there's a massive gap in the manga for Danmachi. The only way to get the full story is to read the light novels.
Well, that
That's
fucking
it.
sucks.
I was like, damn. Like I couldn't even like. You couldn't even get like a small gap. It was like a 20 book gap. God. And then like, yeah. And then sometimes you had to like read the spin-offs, like the ones specifically for like Ryu were important to the main story. And I was like, well, main story that ain't even there, I guess. So I was like, I can't believe that they made an anime so good like that. And then people love the light novel so much. And then, well, the people that like the light novel are hating on the anime, which is wild to me.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. Or did you send it to me?
I was talking about it in the Discord. I was like, I don't understand how this is my favorite anime ever. How are people are like, no, this adaptation is trash. Nova made a good point that it was like the anime is good, but a representation of the light novel not good. And one of the like most aggressive like statements that I saw was somebody talking about the versus Goliath fight where there was a lot more blood and gore spewed all over the forest, and then when Bell did like the big slash, he had like a bone sticking out of his arm or something. And I was like, wow, that sounds super graphic. Wait, but you're reading it. There's no image of this. How do you know he had a bone sticking out of his arm? Did they just say that? And then you're like, yeah, that's better. I would rather hear them talk about it than see it. So, I was like, oh, I don't know. It was just hard for me to put it all together. And it's like not in order.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. I don't know. I mean, I never read a light novel, but ReZero makes me want to. Because I've been hearing about like stuff that happens in ReZero manga and how they go down different routes of like endpoints for Subaru. Because certain like return by deaths, like they go like pretty much like a visual novel. Like there's different endings for Subaru. And so there's like a bunch of fucked up endings of like, oh, if he didn't go back and return by death at this point, what happens if he continues on after this fucked up event? And it's like in each route, I believe, it coincides with the 7 deadly sin. So like it's the pride route, it's the greed route, it's the sloth route, and I'm just like hearing about all this shit, and I'm just like, oh my god. So it's like the anime is giving us the good end, but then the light novel they have a bunch of different endpoints of just like, what if Subaru got this pride route, and what happened with this, and like he ends up being with a kitten, or he kills this person, and it's like really cool getting to see all these other versions of Subaru, in like these alternate timelines through the light novel. That sounds really interesting. I want to read it. But I've never read a light novel before.
Yeah, I tried to. I'm just not like a words person. I need the fucking bionic font that makes it easier for people to like focus on, where they have like the front of the word not bolded and then the back of the word like becomes more bold, more emboldened.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it's called bionic font, or they have like each word has like growing intensity in each individual word, and it's supposed to help like people with ADHD focus on it. And like to the best of my knowledge, my novels just don't do that. So I can understand why that would be probably ink intensive and take a very long time. But that wasn't even one of my canon event things. I mean, I guess it kind of was, but it was more of a joke.
Okay, then what's your canon event?
I had a couple of them. I have one on here that I want to save to the end because I think it might be one of yours, and if you don't pick it, then I'm gonna be shocked.
Okay.
Staying with Naruto, I have Naruto not getting his own Hokage ceremony. I would have changed this one because they held the ceremony, and the ceremony itself was fine. It wasn't him that got to do it though. It was, I think, Konohamaru as a clone of him because he got knocked out by his child. I was like, that is stupid. I was like, who are you pleasing with this?
Okay, so can I just bitch and gripe about Boruto for a little bit? I don't like how they narratively did my boy Naruto wrong, like in so many different aspects. Like I get it. Like I don't know if it's just a shonen thing
I
where
don't
like the
get that
parents
one.
just got to
That
be
one,
shit.
I don't get why they literally spent 700 episodes building him up to be the greatest Hokage, and like we grew up with it. We're like, yes, we finally get to see Naruto like be inaugurated as the Hokage, and then like he gets knocked out by a fucking 4-year-old.
And it's like they do that kind of shit so much. Like it's literally like kill your darlings because Naruto and Sasuke they get fucking washed so many times, and I'm like, these are the strongest guys ever, and they're constantly being they either get their ass beat, they get somehow relegated to like the back line, which is fine if you're like, okay, they're off doing other shit while Boruto gets to do his main villain shit. That's fine. But I was like, if you could have Naruto and Sasuke fight a villain and lose, how the fuck am I supposed to believe that Boruto could do? But anyway, that's just me bitching whining. But they do this so much. Like the one thing that got me with Naruto is just like the whole aspect of him being a bad dad. Like he's never around. And I'm just like, why would you write the character like that when his whole thing was not having a family? And I understand Naruto's perspective.
Of all people that could like bullshit his way through being busy, dude has like unlimited chakra, and the first thing we see him do is run out of chakra.
Yep.
When he drops the birthday cake, I'm like, bro, you could have so easily done exactly that same situation with zero chakra and had the dude at the office disappear.
Yep.
Shikamaru would have been like, what in the world? And then moved on and been like, he would have been like, I figured it out, I got it, take care of it. But Naruto is just like choosing to do the paperwork over the family. That's not Naruto.
Yeah, that
like,
I don't know, man.
They like grew up, and it was like this. That's not who you are.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off. It does. And again, still love Naruto. I think his haircut looks like ass. But yeah, that does suck because I feel like there's so many moments like when Naruto says in Boruto, he's just like, maybe become the Hokage wasn't the best thing, and I'm just like, dude, come on, man. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's warranted. It just feels like they're going out of the way to be like, hey, that thing you loved, fuck it. Naruto don't get to be, get the praise. And I mean, he gets it, obviously, like after beating pain and after whatever, like he gets the praise from the village. But like, that's his big moment. It's him being the Hokage. And he misses out on it for a gag. And it is like, what does it do? Is him or Ari going to be the main character now? Or is she going to fight gods? Like, no. He just got fucked over.
Actually.
And like it really, really annoyed me, man. It's just like, why are they taking away all of Naruto's, like everything about Naruto that we love? Like they're not giving it to Boruto. Boruto's like a whole different character than Naruto.
And the
so
worst
just like,
part about it was that in Boruto, he took in Kawaki and then did all the same shit, but the real version of him was there for Kawaki.
Yeah, that doesn't make any damn sense.
I was like, you fumbled this one.
Yeah, I'm just like, why? I get it, Naruto's dumb, but like, what the fuck, man? Like, it angers me. I'm just like, what are y'all doing to my boy?
Why y'all making him the worst? We would see when we grew up.
Yeah, just like, yeah, man, real life hit. Naruto just became a stupid piece of shit. It's like awesome, I guess. Why did y'all make the series? But anyway. But no, I agree with that. He should have been there. Konohamaru don't deserve nothing other than the ass whooping they got in the shooting exams against Naruto. That was wild.
I hate that so much. I hate that so much. Like, that tuning exam. First of all, why the fuck did he go in Sage mode to begin with? He was laying the absolute smackdown on him with no clones, and then he was just like, "I'm gonna meet you with equal measure." And it's like, why? Your fucking left pinky toe was stronger than Konohamaru at the time. Like, just lay the kid out and then move on. It'll be all right.
It was fucking wild.
Him, like, letting him show off a little bit would have been, like, fine, because then it's, like, you could pass that part without winning. But where he's just like, yeah, we're in the smoke cloud so they can't see anything, and then I'm going to emerge from the smoke cloud in Sage mode. And I'm like, why?
He beat the shit out of Konohamaru. He beat the dog shit. But yeah, no, Naruto should have got his moment, man. It's just like, what do you get from that? Because nothing good came from that. Like, I don't think it made anybody else look better. Again, I'm a wrestling guy, man. I'm a wrestling guy. You got to be able to give. You got to be able to take. Some people got to get the rub. Naruto didn't get the rub. You know what I mean? Like he didn't get anything. No other character. I'm not talking about a sexual turn. Don't look at me like that. But like, no, if you're gonna make Naruto look bad to elevate other characters, who got elevated there? You know what I mean? Like nobody did. It was just a dumb gag that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
It just makes Naruto look stupid.
Naruto looked like an idiot for going into Sage mode against the coughing baby. Like, I don't know what the fuck you thought. Like, this definitely is not the same equivalence. You're trying to meet Konohamaru in kind, dude. He like dropped like 8 Rasengans on you, and you beat all of them away with the back of your left hand.
Dude, that it's so bad. It's so bad, dude. But anyway, yes, I do agree with you. Naruto should have had his moment. He should have had his moment. That should have
all of them,
changed.
he should have had that one.
Mhm.
That was like the one that it was like, man, you can't fuck this up. You can't. You have to let him have this one. And they're like, ha, look how strong his child is. And you're like, no.
Dude, it's so bad. But all right, I'm gonna go to my next one. My next one is gonna be a fun one. I guess we're gonna stay in Shonen for right now. Because again, I'm still kind of curious on what you think I'm gonna pick. Oh, I think I know. I didn't put this on there. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I was dealing with a lot of stuff full stream. I now think I know. It's got boxing. It has something to do with boxing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that on my list actually.
No
but then
way.
you take it. Yeah, I don't have it on my list because I actually think that moment should stay canon. But okay, my next one is
I was on the fence about that one, not gonna lie.
yeah, it's hard because it's just like at one point, just like, well, he beat everybody else. But anyway,
Yeah.
and we'll get to
I'll
it.
use it
We'll
as
get
my
to it,
next
we'll get to
one.
it. Yeah, my next one is going to be a part of One Piece, one of my favorite mangas of all time. The thing that I would take that's canon in One Piece and uncanonize it is Sabo as a character. I don't think he does anything, and I think he takes away from, again, spoiler alert, but Ace's death. They literally got replacement Ace right after.
I
So
think,
just like-
yeah, I think they should have handled Sabo like better because we just believed that he was dead the whole time, and then it's just like for some reason he just stayed away from his brothers for like 20 years.
I hate amnesia in storytelling as a crutch. He forgot because of a traumatic event and almost dying as a kid that he knew Luffy and Ace, but because he saw Ace's photo in the newspaper, hearing about his death, it rejogged all his memories for 20 years. Ace is like one of the most famous people in the universe. You telling me this man never saw him before and was like, oh shit, that's my brother? Sabo is he's the second-hand man in the Revolutionary Army under the most like wanted guy in the world, Dragon, and Ace and Luffy never saw him, his bounty poster, his anything. You telling me this guy just like that just never happened in 20 years worth of fuck?
He lived a very sheltered life. All right, leave the man alone.
And then I'm just like, he comes
Daddy
out of
didn't let me
nowhere.
outside.
He comes out of fucking nowhere and he's like, oh yeah, I'm Luffy and Ace's third brother. And I'm going to take on Ace's fruit and just become Ace and
It
act
was like a cool
Ace.
in concept kind of thing, where it was like I was like, yeah, the long lost brother comes back to avenge the fallen one, and it was like, well, you were the fallen one. So,
Yeah. And then he just became Ace. And the fucked up thing is, like, I love Sabo. Sabo is cool as fuck. Ace's power is cool as fuck. I love Sabo and Luffy's relationship. But if you're going to kill a character, kill a character. Don't just pass that on to somebody else. Like, I don't think it really took away from Ace's death, because Ace's death, like, on his own is like fucking like crazy. Right? Because I didn't expect that from One Piece. I legitimately didn't expect that. When I was watching Marineford, and I was like watching anime, like when I was in college, and I was just watching One Piece, you know, every single day pretty much. Because I watched One Piece from start all the way up until whatever it was current, you know, 10 years ago, whatever the fuck. Actually, probably, dude, I'm old. It's longer than 10 years. But I was watching One Piece, and I was watching like 20 episodes a fucking day. I was enamored with it. The pacing is garbage. But I would watch One Piece. And I got to that point, and I was like, Ace is so fucking cool. And, you know, they finally paid off the whole, what is it called? The Vivia card thing. Or not Vivia, whatever, the little card that you can tell somebody's name, you can start burning. Yeah. they paying that off because it's burning, and they're like, "Oh shit, Ace is in trouble." And you learn about Blackbeard, and Blackbeard fought Ace, and he brought him in to the world government, and they captured him in fucking Impel Down, and he's gonna get executed at Marineford, and this whole thing, and you find out about Ace's backstory, where it's like Ace is the son of Goldie Roger. He was a part of Whitebeard's crew, all this stuff, and it's like Garp took him in, and it was this whole thing where Ace's mom, Gas D. Roge, was like, she kept him in a pussy for like 20 months or whatever. Like, it's crazy. Like, his whole story's awesome. And they give you all of that in like this whole arc. And I'm just like, oh my God, Ace is fucking sick. And he fucking beefs it like the stupidest fucking thing. You're like, hey, your daddy's a bitch. What'd you say about my daddy? Dead. I was like, why? Why?
Got by the gag again.
Yeah, and the thing is I wouldn't uncanonize Ace's death, even though I think Ace is so fucking cool. I love ugly Ace from early One Piece, where he's just like all dirty looking and scruffy and shit. And he was like the cool older brother to Luffy, like talking to Zoro and them. He's like, hey, like, I love Ace's introduction, where he's just like on their ship. And they're just like, Luffy got an older brother? And they're like, yeah. And he's like talking to Zoro, shit like that. And Zoro's just like, oh shit, like you're nothing like Luffy. He's like, yeah, I'm glad that Luffy got some friends who's looking after him because my brother's a little bit of an idiot. And he's like totally like different than Luffy. And they're all just like hanging out with him, just like, yeah, cool guy, like cool cameo character. And he just like does a bunch of cool shit. And he just rockets off, whatever. And I was like, Ace is fucking sick. And I was like waiting for him to have so much like plot relevance. And then, the unfortunate happens. And you get like little bits and pieces.
He still has like plot relevance when they get to Wano. They're like,
yep.
Luffy's like following in his path essentially, because like we know that Ace has already been to the end.
Yeah.
So, like now that like everybody along the way now already knows about Ace. So now Luffy's going through and he's like, hey, I know. Have you heard? Or he starts talking about his brother, and they're like, oh, Ace. And furthermore, like if that's happening to Ace and Luffy, like how that not happen to Sabo? Like how nobody?
The fuck did it happen to Sabo?
How nobody? He just be like, what?
Like, anyway, whatever. I'm not gonna bitch and whine about it, but again,
Sabo
that episode,
nothing.
I believe the episode I think was 1015, which is the episode of Ace and Yamato, and I had to watch the episode when it dropped because I'm off and on with One Piece now because I'm like, I got all the way caught up to the time skip like back in the day. And then I just stopped watching One Piece. I was like waiting for a weekly. I was like, I need to have some episodes built up because this pace is garbage. I was like, and then why Goldie Roger left all his shit in One Piece. And I was just like, oh, and then the first 3 to 5 minutes of the episode. Yeah. Dreaming. Don't give it a Luffy. But yeah, the first like 5 minutes of the episode is just that intro with Goldie Roger shit, the anime opening, and then like 3 to 4 minutes of just recap of the previous episode. And then like 13 minutes of new shit. I was just like, I can't watch this shit weekly. So I stopped watching One Piece for a while. And then I missed like all Dressrosa, all that shit. And like Zoe and all of that. And then Wano was going on. I was like, you know what? I can't escape One Piece. So I was like, I'm going to catch up. So I read the manga, got caught up. And I was just like, I like Sabo. Sabo's really fucking cool. I would much rather have Sabo just not exist or stay dead. I'm just being honest.
I feel like it would have been better if he didn't come back to get specifically just to get Ace's fruit.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you just stayed in the shadows for so long. And it's like, just come out when there's like a reason you need to come out, not just let Luffy's crew hold on to the fruit. Like, so?
Yeah, that would have been cool if it's just on the Mary, like in the background, you could always see the fucking flare fruit, flame fruit, what the fuck it's called. And it's like, yeah, that's Ace.
Put it in one of their, in the Thousand Sunnies. They just like put it in one of the eyes.
Yeah, like something, but now it's in Sabo. And again, Sabo's cool. He's relevant right now in anime because the most recent episode, spoiler alert, is Sabo at fucking Muji's fighting the fucking Gorosei and shit. So, they finally got up to that bit, and I'm just like, ooh, boy. And we actually get to see what the fuck happened to him. So that was really cool. Because you got to just see him later, and he's just like all fucked to shit. And I'm just like, what happened to him? And then you see what happened. You're just like, oh. But yeah, man, like, again, Sabo's a really cool character, but that would be my second one. What about your second one, Vix?
So, we were talking about it a moment ago. Hajime no Ippo, when Ippo loses to, I couldn't remember the dude's name. I know it's
Date.
Date?
General Date.
Yeah. When he loses to Date, and I was on the fence, because I was like, I get the reason behind it, and it is very powerful. But man, I wanted him to win. I wanted him to win so fucking bad, dude.
I fucking
I wanted
love
Ippo to win
Ippo.
so bad. I was like, oh, I know that Date is like, this is his last chance, and it's like the value he got from losing was better than the value he could have got from winning. But ooh, I wanted to see him. I just wanted to see him fucking win. Oh,
Dude,
it was just
good.
because if he would have like had another opportunity to like challenge him at some other point, then I'd be like, okay, fine. But since that was it, like he doesn't get to get a redemption arc anymore. He lost. He gets a perma L on that one, and I'm like, no, my boy can't have that on his record.
That shit got me because everybody knew going into the fight that Date, that this is his last fight before he goes and challenge for the world title. So it was like such a heavy thing if Ippo lost, because he was like, I want to face him. He's the champion. I want to win. I want the belt. I'm going to do this. And
everybody in the audience being like, yeah, I want you to get it too. Get it, boy.
It's so sick. And again, Ippo does this thing in the fights where you learn so much about his opponents and what they're going through and what they're dealing with, and you do that with Date. And all his opponents have that. Some more than others. Some characters have more of like plot relevancy and you go into their backstory. Some of them just guys that Ippo just got beat the shit out of, and it's great. But like Date's whole thing is like, I challenged for the world when I was younger, and that guy beat the shit out of me, and I was not ready. I'm wiser, I'm older, I'm more experienced, and this is the last chance I have to make my dream a reality. And you got Ippo, who's this young up and comer, hard hitting boxer, who's like, will he kill this old man's dream, or will his chance at an early title win like go up in smokes? And it does. And you have to see Ippo have to deal with that, like when it sets in. Because at first it's just like,
because he almost gets back up too, and you're like, oh, one more time. One more roll, and then he just falls, and you're like, no fucking way.
That never fucking happens. All the time, Ippo gets back up. Like
everybody got up. Everybody always got up, and I was like, why now?
Oh, dude, that shit got me. And I will always remember the fucking frame of Ippo with the TV playing, replaying the fight, and he's just sitting there like on his ass on the ground, and he's just like depressed. And the fight's just replayed, and he's just watching him get his own ass beat on TV. And it's just like the lights are off. He's just sitting in his like family living room, just watching, because he don't remember the end of the fight because he got knocked out. So he just like, dude, it's so good. It's so poignant. And like you said, he learned more from that loss than he would have got if he got that victory. But God, it's such a crushing defeat if you're a fan of Ippo. Like, because he's awesome, dude. He's awesome. His fights are always so much fucking fun. And you know what he's fighting for his mama-san and all this shit like that. Like,
yeah, I was in there like while the fight was going on, I was like, is this a fight that he could lose, like, realistically, story plot-wise? Like, if he loses here, is that the end? And I was like, they won't do that. They structured it so that he won't ever fight Date again. Of course he's going to win. Like, it's not going to bring him back, so this has got to be the dub. And then I was like, every time Ippo got knocked down, I was like, is it the dub?
Dude, it's a rough fucking fight, dude. It's a rough fight. But yeah, that would have been one, but I'm not going to lie. I came up with these ideas of the questions that I sent you like yesterday. And then I didn't think about anything. So that probably would have been on my list because, again, it's my favorite anime. But I thought about some other fun stuff. I think, hopefully people are enjoying it. But these are the ones that came up to mind. So my next one, my last one, and I'm excited to see your last one since that was the one you thought that I would have put on there. My last one would be, and again, Vix, you didn't watch Dragon Ball Super, but this stuck in my fucking craw. There's a lot of things in Dragon Ball Super that I did not enjoy that really, really stuck in my crawdad.
I think I know what it is.
There's an arc.
Oh,
what do you think it is?
I was gonna say I think you're gonna take out Boo falling asleep before the tournament.
So that would have been one, but that shit just pissed me off. I'm just like, man, what the fuck? Like, it's kind of like the Naruto shit. It's like, why you build this shit up just for the character to just fuck off? And it's for a gag, and it's not fucking funny. Maybe I'm just an old curmudgeon now. That shit wasn't funny to me because it's just like Goku did this whole thing before the tournament power where he fought everybody that was gonna be on the team. And he went Super Saiyan Blue against everybody. And he's just like, this doesn't make any damn sense. He's fighting Android 17. He's like, okay, well, 17 was training with the Alive Cell Jr., so cool, whatever, I guess. But he fights Krillin, and Krillin ain't been doing shit but being a cop. And he like goes Super Saiyan Blue on Krillin. I was like, this kind of overkill, man. Then they had like a little fun fight, and Krillin was like, yeah, but I got smarts, I got battle strategy, I got tactics, I got key control. So I was like, all right, cool. Like kind of like showcasing what all the characters had, right? And then Boo, I was like, Boo could be a legitimate help. Boo can heal people. Boo could like regenerate from pretty much anything. Boo would be like one of the best people to have on the team. And this whole thing throughout all the Super, this ain't even my damn answer, but whatever. Fuck it, I'm going to rant real quick. Boo's whole thing was like he just kept falling asleep and just being a gag. Where he's just like, I'm Boo and I want to eat food and I'm gonna eat Beerus's food and Beerus is gonna threaten to blow up the planet because Boo keeps eating his pudding or whatever. So when he finally got serious and Goku went to go fight him, he's like, Boo, you're strong as shit. Let's train. And when Goku goes to fight Boo, Boo's like, I've already been taking this shit seriously. I'm buff, and he looks like a goofy version of Super Boo. Like good Super Boo essentially. And I was just like, dude, Boo is fucking sick. This would be perfect. And then right before turning power, he's like, oh yeah, Boo went to sleep. We can't wake him up. All right, get big nipple, dude. And I was just like, I want to fucking die. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. My one for me that's even more egregious is the ending of the Goku Black arc. So just give a little synopsis, right? Future Trunks comes back in the past. There's a bunch of fucked up shit going on in the future. There's an evil Goku in the future that you find out is a god, a Kai, a supreme Kai in training or whatever, named Zamasu. He hates mortals because he's like, these humans are delving into the realm of the gods using God Ki and God energy. They don't deserve to have this kind of power. Why are these Saiyans this strong to touch the gods? They don't deserve it. He has this weird ego thing about it. So he's like, my whole thing is like, I'm going to show these humans and these mortals their place, and I'm going to kill them all. Zero mortal plan or whatever the fuck, the dumb shit. That's the whole thing. So he goes to the future. He takes Goku's body with the change in, he takes over his body, and he kills Goku. He kills Chi-Chi. He kills Goten like in front of Goku in his body. It's really fucked up. It's actually really fucking dark and sick. And I really, really liked it. And the Goku Black arc is really fucking cool. You get Future Trunks back. He's fucking sick. I love Future Trunks. His hair is blue for some reason instead of purple. And he's not as cool as the original Future Trunks, but that's kind of just super. But anyway, long story short, Goku, Vegeta, they go into the future. They go to fight Goku Black and Zamasu. It's this awesome ass fight in the future where they're getting their ass beat. You get to see them turn into Vegito because they take the Potara earrings. They turn into Vegito. They go Super Saiyan Blue. It's fucking awesome. They retcon the Potara fusion where it's like, oh, it's not permanent. It's only an hour. And I'm just like, whatever. But anyway, so long story short,
I was
at
like,
the end of the fight,
that changes a lot.
that changes a lot because the whole thing was just like, we'll be stuck as one new entity forever. And like they anyway, whatever. So anyway, so my whole thing is just like at the end of the fight, Goku and Vegeta, Goku and Vegeta, they get beat by Goku Black. After all of that shit, they go back from being Vegito and they go back to Goku Vegeta. They lose the fight. And at the end, Future Trunks, who had his Bulma, dies to Goku Black in the future. Because, she's alive. It's just her, Gohan, and Trunks until Gohan dies to Android 1718. And then Trunks goes into the future to, avenge them. He kills the androids, he kills Cell. It's like, and then you get to figure out what else he was doing in the future. Because, like, when the Buu saga happens in Future Trunks timeline, he trains with Supreme Kai and Supreme Kai and them, and old Kai doesn't happen because Trunks actually uses the Z-Sword where Gohan broke it. It's really, really cool how they change up the timeline stuff. And then it's just like, well, this is Trunks' future, and Trunks' future is all fucked up. It's all on him, and he becomes the main character, and he gets the spirit sword, which is like he's taking like a spirit bomb, but he condenses it into like this giant blade. He gets a new bullshit like transformation, Super Saiyan Rage or whatever the fuck, where he just gets angry and gets God Key or whatever. I don't fucking know, but whatever. This is his shit. This is his timeline to save. He's having this awesome moment where he's beating Fuse Zamasu and Goku Black, and it's fucking awesome. And he cuts him in half, and he's just like, he did it. Like, after all of this shit in the arc, he won. He killed the villain. Trunks got his moment. Goku didn't get the kill and final villain for the first time ever. And I'm just like, well, not the first time ever. I'm being, hyperbolic, but whatever. And then all of a sudden, you just start hearing Zamasu's voice. And then all through the sky, Zamasu's face is all over the place. And then they pull the most bullshit thing because it's like, I'm immortal. You can't kill me. I'm going to take over the world and destroy the entire universe just to spite y'all because fuck this shit. Goku then pulls the fucking bullshit button out of his dick. And he had a button from Zeno the god amongst gods, who's like the king of the universe, who said, "Hey Goku, I like playing with you. I'm gonna give you this button. Call me whenever you want to play." Goku's just like, "Oh, I got this button. I'll press the button." Zeno comes, and he's just like, "What the fuck is all this shit?" He's like a baby, and he's just like, "This is bad. I'm deleting the entire universe." And he just kills Zamasu, deletes the entire universe, and then everybody just goes back in the past. And I was like, I want to fucking die. Why didn't Zeno delete me? Why the fuck did I watch this shit? Y'all took away Trunks' victory, had the fucking get out of jail free button.
Offensive.
Summon a fucking baby to just delete the universe. So all the people in Trunks' timeline, dead. Everything they used fighting for, dead. Zamasu, control, all deleted. And then they just go back and pass, and Trunks is just like, "Thank you, Goku." And everybody's like, "Yeah, cool." And the Zeno is just like, "I'm coming into the main universe." So it's now two Zenos, and they're just like dumb babies playing with each other. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? And then there's like, "Oh, Trunks, by the way, your universe is dead. Like, he killed it. Like, you can't even go home. It's all gone." So you're like, "You know what? We just gonna put you in another universe." So they put him in another universe, and they're like, "Wait, but that doesn't make any sense because there's a Trunks and a Mai there. Because that's the only two people that survive is Trunks and Mai. Everybody else, all the people because they're literally like a resistance movement of humans, they all get killed by Zamasu right at the end after that, like when he takes over the planet or whatever the fuck. So it's just like all the people that he's fighting for, dead. Everything they're trying to protect, dead. Everything that Bulma fought for and sacrificed for, dead." And none of it matters. And he just goes with his girlfriend who's 70 years old, but in the body of an 18-year-old or whatever the fuck. And they go to a different universe where there's two versions of them because they go into a universe that already has the Trunks and the Mai in it. And I was like, why the fuck didn't y'all just have him stay here in the main thing to be a main character? And I'm just like, this shit was so fucking ass. This shit was so fucking garbage. Get that shit the fuck out of here. Let Trunks get his fucking dub, save all the people that he's been dying to protect, and have them live in a desolate Terminator future. Because that's what the fuck the point was. He was supposed to get the victory, save everything he'd been fighting for. And they just delete all that shit, act like it don't matter. And then Trunks is just going from the series. I'm just like, that shit made me so angry. That was like, I get it. A lot of people love Super. I love Dragon Ball, dude. I love Dragon Ball to death. I would much rather, like, until, like, all the way up until literally the Tournament of Power, I was like, they should have just fucking did GT again. Watch them stupid idiots go across the universe and get the Black Star Dragon Ball. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, there's a lot of shit about Super. The animation is one of them. I'm just like, this shit, I don't know. Was it really necessary? Could Dragon Ball just stay dead or just been movies? Give me a fucking movie every 2 years, and I'm happy. Because that shit was not worth sitting through sometimes. But then Tournament Power happened. Ultra Instinct happened. I was like, dun, 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 dun. You know, whatever. I'm just like, this is fucking sick.
I've never been more wrong in my life.
Yeah, I have a reason to live. But yeah, like that shit. But then the Tournament Power shit happened with Boo falling asleep. Again, do you see these consistent problems in Super
My life
Rising?
is over.
Because then fucking Fat Boo was just like, oh, I'm really fucking cool now. And I'm worthless. And I'm just like... But yes, that's my last one. I'm sorry. That was pent up. I ain't even, oh boy. I ain't even thought about that shit in so long, but that shit pissed me off.
Just spilled out of me. I just couldn't handle it, the rage.
Dude, Future Trunks is like one of the greatest characters in OG Dragon Ball. Because he's so fucking cool and his story is so fucking tragic. And they killed my favorite character, Gohan. I love the Future of Trunks shit. And the fact that Super just kind of retcons a bunch of shit and really, really takes away a lot of characters' like moments. OG Dragon Ball is in Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is just all Dragon Ball. I'm talking about manga wise, but you know the OG Dragon Ball Z character, Future Trunks, it just sucked, man. It legit, like I just sat there like the winds was out my sail. I was just like I'm Rudius. I'm just flaccid right now. I was like, this shit sucks. This shit fucking sucks.
I was thinking of like Flat Meg from Family Guy when she was like on too much weed.
Hey, you need to stop smoking drugs, dude. That shit fucking suck. I just remember bitching to all my friends. I was like, man, Super's fucking garbage. But anyway, that's my last one of the day. that shit pissed me the fuck off.
Mine's on the other end. I decided to take this one out just because the people involved, they didn't deserve this. They didn't deserve this. I took a moment from season 2 of Made in Abyss The Golden Voyage, that whole thing, I know why it happened, and I know what relevant it was, or like what relevance it was to like the present day characters. But that shit, if you've seen the results of the Golden Voyage, that is horror. It is horror incarnate. I couldn't imagine the trauma, the despair that everybody had to like go through to like they're literally watching all of their compatriots like die, and they're like, well, we can't even get them water because the water is the thing that's making them die. So they get this magical rock that only the child can use, and the child ends up like giving birth hundreds of times. And like the way that the like wishing stone interpreted the wish was, I think the wish was something along the lines of like she didn't want to be alone, so it ended up like making her infinitely give birth, but there was no like structure to it, so all of the babies that came out, they had no like survival organs, so every baby would just die. So this fucking child watched hundreds of her babies die and not know like what to do. She couldn't move. It was awful. It was terrible. It was horrendous. The only way that anybody survived as long as they did was that they had to kill the babies early and feed the fucked up baby flesh to the rest of the crew so that they had meat to eat.
What the fuck is Made It Abyss about?
Fucked up shit. You look at it, you think it's some happy jolly joy ride. No, that is some fucked up shit.
I thought it was little guys spelunking.
No, it is trauma. It is trauma. There is a moment in like season 1 that's like, there was one singular moment that I was like, oh. And they kind of nudge you at it, and you're like, you almost don't believe it because of the art style until they do it. And when the moment was, I don't remember what episode it was, but it was exactly when the girl, they broke her arm, and she had like 3 extra joints in her arm, and they just showed it in full view with like her bones sticking out. I was like, oh shit. Oh, they were not fucking around. So
they did what Don Machi was too coward to do.
Yeah, they threw it all out there. They were like, yeah, no, this is awful. And like that's like not even that bad compared to like the rest of it that comes later. That was just the moment where I was like, oh, I get it now. Now I see where it's going. But that was like child's play for what was to come. And the Golden Voyage, I would never wish that like on anybody. The fact that somebody even thought of that to put it in an anime is fucking horrifying. I was watching it in like utter terror. I was like, this is awful. This is dreadful. There's no answer. And the child only liked one person. Well, she liked everybody, but she was like especially fond of one person. And she was treating that person like her mom, and that person was trying to fulfill the motherly role for this child. And so she could only watch this child lose hundreds of babies and then feed these dead babies to the rest of the crew. That was literally all they could do to live. They were like trying to sustain themselves down here in this like abyss, and there was like no other option. Like that was literally it. And even that, there came a point where she just gave birth so many times that she ended up just being like a dome that like ended up mutating things. So the people that were like in the village, they like became other things because they could no longer like mentally sustain themselves as humans. So they just like got mutated instead and just lost all their will. Because
why the fuck didn't she just wish for a McDouble? The bit dumb as hell. Because it was one of those things that was like it grants the wish based
it's like grants the wish of your heart thing. Kind of bullshit. Yeah. And it was like this child was like not a human child. It was like I forget what they call them when they're from the abyss, but it was like a child. It was like a humanoid child, and there was like all she wanted to do, like all she as a child wanted was, like affection from like her parents, but she was, she was in the abyss, so she didn't have any. And then she got this wishing stone, and like that's what it granted. And like they were literally dying. The water that they had access to had some kind of bacteria in it that was literally making them shit themselves to death. And they were like, okay, well, we need to rehydrate, but we can't, because if we rehydrate, that's what's gonna make us shit ourselves to death. So then they're like,
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, so they're like, where do we get food? Where do we get water? And the only thing that had food was dead babies.
Why the fuck?
It was so fucked up. It was so bad. There was one surviving baby that ended up being like relevant to the current time, or like the present times, like story. There was like one that lived, that continued on to be like related back to that voyage. And dude, it's that whole thing. They just need to pluck that out. That whole thing. They can skip the entire Golden City. It'll be all right. That rumor never needs to start. It's gonna suck that there's just like a big gap on one of the floors, but hey, man, you don't need to kill 3,000 babies. It is all right.
You know what?
We already got to watch whatever the fuck the other thing's name is, Mimsy or whatever, the weird slime thing that's indestructible. That was awful. That was terrible. That wasn't enough for them.
God. Oh god. So I haven't even watched Made in Abyss, but I 100%, 1000% agree. What the fuck? Why is that a thing? I've heard so many people talk about how good Made in Abyss is. What the fuck?
Yeah, it is. Oh man, it just like reaches into your darkest nightmares, and it's just like, okay, but what if we just fed it to people? It's so fucked up. It's awful, because like at Nope, the way that the Abyss is structured is that ascending at all is how you get inflicted with the curse, and after a certain point, it's basically death if you go up. So people who go down that far, they are essentially resigning themselves to either live down there or die. Like that's their plan, because if they go up, they'll die. So whenever there's a moment where this, like, the main character is an actual child, right? So like not like a hollow child, not like a demon child. It's like, it is just a girl, just a regular girl. So every time that she is like getting fucked up, you're like, where are you gonna go?
Go lay down for the eternal sleep.
Or down, and it's like, if you go down, there's more of that, and it's like, if you go up, you die. So
what the fuck? That sounds terrible.
It is horrifying, to say the least. I actually liked almost like all of the characters on the voyage. They were all like reasonable, good people. Nobody was like a bad guy who just did like bad things and it resulted that way. It was a bunch of regular people who wanted to explore. They ended up in a bad situation, and it just spiraled really, really hard. So I would definitely stop that from happening. That would definitely be one of my take that canon event out. All of them can live. Yeah.
Well, if you guys are listening to the podcast and made it all the way to the glorious end, then let us know, what canon event would you take out of an anime of your choice? What do you think would be a boon if it took it out? I mean, I don't think anything on top fucking Made in Abyss, dead baby fucking stampede. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I did not. So
you wasn't ready for that one, were you?
I was not. I don't know anything about Made in Abyss, like legit. I only heard about it for like years. The only thing I've seen about Made in Abyss is somebody gets smushed, and that was it. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I never looked into it. That's all I know. If something happens and somebody gets fucking Akira girl, you know, like in Kira, there was like the girl who just like, the Kaneda, help me, and she like gets smushed in between the fucking Akira's like meat body. It was like that moment or something like that. And I was just like, oh, that's fucked up. But anyway, That's neither here nor there. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, let your boys know. By joining the conversation, let us know what event from an anime you would take out of the canon. And you can also let us know by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, hitting the notification bell, giving us a 5-star review on the audio podcast service of your choice, and also just hanging out with us live. You guys want to be a part of all the fun shenanigans, all the fun happenings here live. It's a good time. We partying over here. Ain't you guys happy? Ain't you guys having a good time? Ain't you guys partying? Yeah, you guys can join in. Good. Talking about dead papers. Anyway, this has been the 25th episode of DNAnime Podcast, and we will catch you guys next week, Sunday, for Anna Sunday with the boys. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.